Our story is memory. Where were you on Sunday, July 6, 1975? Perhaps you were one of the 50,000 New York racing fans at beautiful Belmont Park, or you could have been one of the 13 million attending by way of television. The Willows would weep this day, but there was no hint of that in the mood of a joyful crowd anticipating a match race that had taken America by its heart. In the spirit of things, it did seem a day to dance. This was one of those rare sporting events that transcends the sports pages. It was the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Heavyweight Championship, all of them and more, for it had the added flavor of women's liberation versus male chauvinism, a horse race that was also a battle of the sexes.
I think that Ruffian's going to win because she's the better horse.
Well, I pick Foolish Pleasure just because he's a male.
Ruffian because she's a female. Foolish Pleasure.
I say Ruffian, and I think it's for women's liberation.
I have to agree with my wife.
I like Foolish Pleasure because I'm a male chauvinist pig.
I believe Ruffian's going to win the race because every race she ever ran, she always left the opponent in the dust.
Tension mounted for fans and principals alike. Leroy Jolly, brilliant young trainer of Foolish Pleasure. The owner of Foolish Pleasure, Mr. John Greer. Ruffian's owners, Mr. Stuart Janney and Mrs. Stuart Janney. The stars make their entrance. Foolish Pleasure, the nation's top 3-year-old colt. Ruffian, far and away the dominant 3-year-old filly. Leroy Jolly prepares the brown colt, Foolish Pleasure. Frank Whiteley readies the black filly, Ruffian. Jockey Jacinto Vasquez gets up on Ruffian. Braulio Baeza rides Foolish Pleasure, two great race riders in a countdown to the drama that will determine which horse is faster this day. The intrigue and appeal of match racing is historic. In our time, memory pulses with recollections of Man o' War versus Sir Barton, Zev against Papyrus. It calls back Seabiscuit War Admiral, Alsab, Whirlaway, Armed Assault, and Nashua Swaps. But none of them, that glittering lot, promised more than this moment. Ruffian, the Black Beauty, winner of all 10 career starts. Foolish Pleasure, winner of 11 of 14 races, including a Kentucky Derby that at the time established him as the best 3-year-old. The building drama made the moment electric. Ruffian, racing's brightest star since Secretariat, had captured the imagination and hearts of fans from coast to coast.
And the number 2 is John L. Greer's Foolish Pleasure.
The ultimate answer to the girl-boy confrontation would be but 2 minutes away at the finish line. We were expecting such a simple answer.
It is now post time.
I saw her first in October of '73 as a yearling at Claiborne Farm. And she was a grand-looking filly. Couldn't help from liking her. Couldn't tell what she could run in or not.
Ruffian, we now know, was something special. Trainer Frank Whiteley is patient and hard-working, one of the world's great trainers. Guiding Ruffian for her entire career, he was the man most responsible for her development.
She acted like she had a lot of ability. I think her first race would be in late May of '74. She's a great responsibility, but nice to be around. Pleasure to be around. Well, she's the best filly I ever had, and there's no question about that.
What had Ruffian done that made this match race seem as ordained as the stars in their courses? In 1974, she won all 5 starts by an average of 9 lengths. Frank Whiteley set one immediate goal for 1975, A sweep of the Triple Crown for fillies, something only 3 horses had ever done. The first step was the Acorn Stakes at Aqueduct on May 10th. Track announcer Dave Johnson.
It is now post time. They're up. On the outside, Noble Cedar going for the lead. It's Sir Ivor's Sorrow ranging up, and Ruffian along the inside now, moving and taking the lead. That's Ruffian in front by a head, with Piece of Luck second on the outside by 2 lengths. Noble Cedar is third by 3 parts of a length. Gallant Trial is fourth on the rail by a head. Then Sir Ivor's Sorrow on the outside, Something Regal along the rail, and Point in Time is 7th. Continuing down the backstretch, Ruffian along the rail leads by half a length. Piece of Luck on the outside is second by 5. Along the rail, Sir Ivor's Sorrow, Something Regal moves up. Then on the outside, Noble Cedar. They pass the half-mile pole. Ruffian in command now by a length and a quarter. Piece of Luck is second on the outside by 3, and Something Regal races third. First quarter in 23 and 2 and 45 and 3 for the half. Past the 3/8 pole, Ruffian in front by a length. Piece of Luck is now second by 3. Something Regal racing away from the rail is third by a head. Point in Time is fourth on the rail. Sir Ivor's Sorrow and Noble Cedar, they're in the stretch, and Ruffian is in command by 4. Piece of Luck racing second, a length and a quarter on the outside. Something Regal coming past the 8 pole with Ruffian in front by 7 lengths. Something Regal on the outside, second. Point in Time. The others now far back as Ruffian draws away to lead by 9. Ruffian in front and going easily. Never being asked to run, and under the wire the winner by 8 lengths. Ruffian with just a super left goes aboard. The time on the board, 1 minute 34 and 2/5 seconds, a new state record for the Acorn.
Had it been a fight, it would have been stopped. Ruffian was that awesome. Mike Bell, the assistant who executes many of Frank Whiteley's decisions, recalls joining the Ruffian family early in 1974.
Well, I came to work for Mr. Whiteley approximately a week before she first ran. And I always thought that, well, I didn't know her name till like the day she ran, or the day before when she was in the overnights. I don't think too many people did. It's a joke now, but it looked like, of course, she only won by 15 and equaled the track record. I thought she was too heavy. She just had a queenly air about her that anybody would have to admire. You could walk down the shed and nobody tell you who Ruffian was. I mean, just anybody off the street that didn't know horses, they would know who Ruffian was. The way she carried herself, highly intelligent. She was real businesslike, you know, and I think she kind of wanted to go out there and do her thing and get it over with, and then relax and come on back home. I think I'm awful lucky just to have been around her.
All the Locust Hill Farm family rejoiced in Ruffian, but perhaps no one man more personified that combination of day-to-day duties and emotional bond than Groom Dan Williams, her constant companion. He accompanied her in Aqueduct's paddock on May 31st, 1975 for the Mother Goose Stakes. At 1 1/8 the Mother Goose is the second hurdle in the fillies' Triple Crown. Ruffian's fans, extremely confident, sent her to the post at 1 to 10 odds for the second straight time. She entered the starting gate virtually on her own, a sensible lady going about her business.
And it is now post time. And they're on. Number 7, Dan's Commander, unseated the rider at the start. Ruffian on the outside, quickly taking command, with Sun and Snow between horses. Along the inside, Sir Ivor's Sorrow is third.
With her matchless bounty of raw speed, Ruffian raced to the lead. Unlike many of the great speed horses of the past, she was not one to squander her gift impetuously. Ruffian's generosity in allowing the rider absolute control of her speed added a compelling dimension to her talents. After rounding the first turn, with Sir Ivor's Sorrow on the rail and Sun and Snow making authentic challenges, Vasquez led out just a subtle notch, and Ruffian drew off again.
They continue down the backstretch, and Ruffian has the lead by a length and a quarter. Sir Ivor's Sorrow, second, 3 parts of a length. Sun and Snow on the outside is third.
Late in the backstretch, her rivals forced another move, but Ruffian's rider let out yet another notch as they headed into the final turn.
The half-mile time was 47 3/5 seconds. And around the far turn, now Ruffian draws away to lead by 2, as Sun and Snow on the outside is second by a head. Along the rail, Survivor's Sorrow drops back 3rd. Gallant Trial on the outside is 4th. Then Sweet Old Girl and Point...
Coming to the quarter pole and into the home stretch, Vasquez finally allowed Ruffian to run on her own. She knew what to do.
Ruffian in front by 2 1/4 lengths. Sun and Snow second by a length. Gallant Trial on the outside is 3rd. Ruffian in front now by 5 lengths.
As usual, Ruffian never felt the sting of her rider's whip. Vasquez was in command as the great filly, under a mild hand ride, pulled away fluidly, cruising in high gear.
Ruffian in front. He's come to the wire. The winner by 15 lengths is Ruffian with Ruffian. Super Vasquez aboard. Sweet Old Girl finishes second. Sun and Snow gets the show spot.
A mile and an eighth in 1:47 4/5. Another stakes record for the filly and her owner. What Ruffian was defies definition. How do you measure that courage, that elegance? How do you chart sheer excellence? It's beyond mere words and figures, beyond science. Dr. Manuel Gilman, highly respected head veterinarian of the New York Racing Association, recalled her first performances.
Quite a few clockers were talking about her. She worked very fast. She worked very smooth. But nobody pays too much attention to a horse before they run. After she ran twice, then we realized, I certainly realized it, and everybody else did, that she was something extraordinary. As far as the physical makeup of Ruffian is concerned, she was a very big filly. She was much larger than the average filly. As a matter of fact, she was larger than the average colt. I weighed her a couple of weeks before the race, and she weighed 1,125 pounds. Foolish Pleasure weighed 1,061 at the same time, and he was a colt, the same age. She was a very large filly. She never looked large unless you stepped into her, for the simple reason that she was very well proportioned, and she was a very strong, healthy filly, had a very long stride. She never looked like she was going as fast as she was. But this particular filly, I'll always remember her as possibly the best filly that's been around in many a generation.
But still the skeptics asked, can she carry her speed over a distance of ground? The final jewel in the filly's Triple Crown would answer that question. The Coaching Club American Oaks is a test of endurance at 1.5 miles, a distance identical to the Belmont Stakes run by colts 2 weeks earlier. Imparting human qualities to an animal may be a fallacy, but still to her public, she was a queen. Yet it wasn't all sentiment. The odds board can't display beyond 1 to 9, but the knowing bettors sent Ruffian off at 1 to 20.
The horses are on the track for the Coaching Club American Oaks.
Once again, Dave Johnson.
Gallant Trial is 3rd. Let Me Linger on the outside 4th. Equal Change is 5th. Along the inside, Sweet Old Girl. They go to the clubhouse turn, and Ruffian has the lead by 2 lengths. That's Let Me Linger second by 1. And Equal Change on the outside is racing 3rd. Gallant Trial skims the rail 4th. Sun and Snow moves up 5th on the outside. Then a gap of 1.5 lengths. Sweet Old Girl is next, and Funny Cat is 7th. As they move to the backstretch, Ruffian now draws away to lead by 6 lengths. Let Me Linger is second by 1/2 length. Equal Change races 3rd by 4. Gallant Trial is 5th at this point by a head. Sun and Snow on the outside is next. Then Sweet Old Girl and Funny Cat. The half is in 49 seconds. Down the backstretch, Ruffian in front now by 4.5 lengths. Let Me Linger is second by 1.5 lengths, and Equal Change races 3rd by 5. Sun and Snow is 4th by a head on the inside. Gallant Trial racing 5th by 1. Then Sweet Old Girl. Funny Cat on the outside is 7th past the 3/4 pole. It's Ruffian in front by 4 lengths. Let Me Linger, second by 3 parts of a length, with equal change on the outside. Now a closer third as they go to the far turn. Ruffian has the lead by a length and a quarter. Let Me Linger is second. There goes equal change up on the outside. Now equal change is second. Let Me Linger back to third. A gap of 7 lengths to Gallant Trial fourth. Sun and Snow is fifth. Funny Cat and Sweet Old Girl, they're on the far turn. Ruffian has the lead by a length and 3/4. Equal change is second, 3 parts of a length. On the inside, Let Me Linger is right there third. Then a gap of 6 to Gallant Trial, 3/8 of a mile to the finish. It's Ruffian in front by a length and a quarter. Equal change on the outside is second by 1. And Let Me Linger is racing third as they come to the top of the stretch. Ruffian has the lead by a length and a half. And equal change is now second. Let Me Linger drops back. Gallant Trial swings to the outside. And down the stretch they come. Ruffian in front now by 2.5 lengths. Equal change is second by the same margin, and Gallant Trial races third. As they come to the final 16th, it's Ruffian in front by 2. Equal change is second. It's Ruffian in front. Never touched by the whip. Ruffian under the wire, the winner by 2.25 lengths. With equal change second by 6. And Let Me Linger in for the show spot. Ruffian, undefeated in 10 starts, wins the Coaching Club American Oaks.
The fillies' Triple Crown was won. Any doubts concerning Ruffian's distance abilities were dispelled in the stretch. The time of 2:27 4/5 not only equaled the stakes record, but was 2/5 of a second faster than the winning time for the 1975 Belmont Stakes. It seems unthinkable that this was Ruffian's final parade through Victory Lane. Selfishly, we thought we would have her forever. It was more than 10 straight victories that won the allegiance of Jacinto Vasquez. One of America's leading riders, Vasquez was perhaps the best witness to her power. As the regular rider of both Foolish Pleasure and Ruffian, he gave his heart to the filly and chose to ride her in the match race.
She's a lot different than most of the horses because she break out of the gate running and she finish running all the time. I probably was one of the fortunate riders who my career. I rode one of the best horses in the country. Ruffian never got beat. When she broke her leg, she was in front.
How life taunts us. The filly that may have been the greatest in history would go eye to eye and heart to heart with the winner of the Kentucky Derby. We thought that was all there was to it, and it would have been enough. But a scant 3.5 furlongs down the backstretch, tragedy would become an added starter in the great match race.
It is now post time. Foolish Pleasure on the outside goes for the lead. Ruffian along the inside up to challenge. Ruffian on the inside now gets to the front by a head. Foolish Pleasure on the outside is right there. She's in front by a head. He's on the outside. Now they're stride for stride. Down the backstretch, past the first quarter, Ruffian has the lead by a head. On the outside, Foolish Pleasure staying right with her. They continue down the backstretch. It's Ruffian on the rail in front by a head. Foolish Pleasure is on the outside and challenging. Now she's in front by half a length with Foolish Pleasure on the outside second. The first quarter in 22 1/5 seconds. Ruffian has broken down. Ruffian is stopped. Foolish Pleasure continuing.
The flame of Ruffian's fierce, robust spirit had burned for the final time. Ruffian, undefeated black daughter of reviewer out of the mare shenanigans, drew her last competitive breath where she had been all her racing life. On the lead.